Um, I'm gonna call today's lecture "Death of a Salesman." It's gonna piss off a lot of real estate brokers, but it is what it is. And death of a salesman. I'm an angler. I'm a fisherman. I go fishing, fresh water, salt water, deep ocean, you name it. Nice video. And what happens is that I have gone into lakes. Last time was with my daughter when she was a little baby, and she wanted to go fishing with daddy, and I took her. And what happened is that I got there with the right bait, and people were sitting there camped out since 4 in the morning, like they do. And I got there around 10 o'clock. I dropped my line, caught a fish this big, and left. Right bait, right location, right atmosphere, and I'm changing hooks, I'm changing lines, I'm changing baits. I'm just throwing it in there until I catch something. And a lot of people just sit there with their rod, staring at the sun till their eyes burn out, and then they said it was not a good fishing day. Death of a salesman. When you go to a real estate office, there's a desk in the front, and what happens is that there's a real estate agent sitting there, and they have their rod in the mud, hoping to catch something from the mud, and what they catch is not edible. They'll kill you. And just like in real estate, renters will kill you because there's no commission. Very little, $800. I know in some country, $800 can feed a family of 32 people for a year. We're not in that country. $800 here in California buys you a hamburger without cheese, not even a full meal. And they sit there. I don't know why. And that front desk where the salesperson's sitting there answering the phones. Listen, in today's time, people got everything in their cell phone. They don't need to call you. The ones that are calling you are people that are not good enough to work with a real estate agent. And these people answer the phone in hopes of finding a qualified seller or buyer. Does it happen? Sure. I did it once. And that one time I made $30,000. Had somebody call, needed to sell their house, buy a house. I made a lot of money. Does lightning strike twice in the same spot? Nope. So therefore, I never did it again. I just got suckered to do it by my broker, and I made the best of it. And the brokers don't even train you on how to convert these people into being a buyer seller. So what I do is usually, I'm here right now, it's 6:43 a.m. I've been here since 6:25, making coffee, setting up my computer, setting up all this stuff. I'm gonna start calling potential home sellers in an $800 to $1.5 million price range, so I can get a hefty commission because I gave myself a raise. And I call. 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours, 7 hours. I just call. That doesn't work. I'll grab my iPad and I'll go into the area and I'll start door knocking and say, hey, I'm a new realtor in town. And, well, not a new realtor, been doing it for 18 years, but in this town I'm new. And I want to get your home listed and sold. And my only competition in these areas are blonde women. And they've been there since they were born. And they go to the church and they go to social meetings in that city so people know them. And for a sand nigger like me to break into that community is very hard. So I have to outperform everybody. I have to outwork everyone, because for me it's not a privilege, it is an opportunity taken. And so people who sit in the front desk don't want to do what I do. They just want to sit there and daydream. And that's what I call a death of a salesman. Every office has a few, majority, and 90% of them fail in real estate. That's why 90% of people drop out of real estate, because they want to get the license, but they don't want to get the work done. And people ask me, how did I make it in 18 years with the big mouth that I have, the lousy personality I have? And I tell them, I can outwork you. That's all. I can outwork you. That's a discipline I got from my mother, and that discipline has gone to my sister and my brother. We can outwork anybody, and that's why we do well.